Assalamu alaikum, dear sir and my fellows. Our presentation topic is role of HR in project management. I am Sibghatullah and my group members are Muhammad Yasir, Usama Altaf, Abdul Khan, and I will continue with the introduction part of this topic, and then Mr. Usama Altaf and Abdul Khan and Muhammad Yasir will proceed further with their respective topics. The introductions of my topic is just to know first the etymology of management. Like what is management? Management. It is the English word to manage, which comes from the Italian word to handle. It comes actually from manageri, which means to handle, and it is also the combination of two words, of two Latin words. The first word is manus, which means hand, and the second one is agere, which means to act. And with the passage of times, this French word management was keep evolving, and it was adopted in England during the 17th and 18th century as a management in their dictionaries. And this is like so the management is like the process of administering, handling, and controlling the affairs of the organization, irrespective of its nature, type, structure, and size. It is an act of creating and maintaining a kind of environment where the members of the organization can work together and achieve business objectives efficiently and effectively. Through the application of available resources with the organization, like financial resources, technological resources, natural, and HR. And the second thing is project. Now, the etymology of the project is that it is a Latin word. It is a Latin word of projectums, which means something prominent, and it is in form of verb. It is to plan and cause to move forward. So in short, the project is like a temporary endeavor to create a unique product, service, or results. It's like to avail an opportunity to achieve some desired result by implementing a systematic management approach. So this is the combination of like the management and the project. These are interconnected with each other. So project is a temporary endeavor. It has a definite start and end. There are examples there of projects like roads, electricity, water works, buildings, airports, rails, cars, and the streets. All our projects are have been once. Even our birth was due to one. Our death will lead to another, and in between we will tackle many projects. Examinations, shopping, birthdays, employment, and shouldering our responsibilities are all projects that spread all over our lives. Life is itself an endless stream of projects, a river of success and failure. As long as humanity is alive, projects will be created, they will succeed, and many may fail, but the cycle will never stop. It's also called a human capital. So it is used to describe both the people who work for a company or organization and the department responsible for managing resources related to employees. The term HR was first coined in 1960 when the value of labor relations began to acquire the attention, and especially when notions such as motivation, organization, behavior, and selection assessment began. It is also it is also it is also called personnel talent management. HRM involves overseeing all capital. So human resource management is a contemporary umbrella term used to describe the management and development of employees in an organization. The importance of HR in projects is inevitable in today's competitive environment. Like HRM is the key of every work done within the organization, as they represent people, because its role starts from defining core competencies which are going to be needed to team building and motivations for achieving the company goals and objectives. Uh, Effective human resources management plays a crucial role in the success of project operation system. Management Project management of proper in a proper way of human resources is vital in the recruitment and retention, maintaining staff morale, providing opportunities for professional development, and in the ability of a project organization to activate implies positive attitude towards itself, resulting in improved profitability outcomes. To address the significance, we can take the examples like this. That was created through implies engagement in US through a research. It showed that engage implies produces $3.6 more profit per annum, which creates $18.6 more market value and also delivers $27 more sales per annum. This shows that the link between HR and project management is strategic. Both of them are useful for company competitiveness. HR management in today's world. Uh, in early days, like in today's, the HR functions were not clearly defined. More than 80% practices were traditional, in which the preferred practices were kept in continuations, but now they are divided and shifted the HR further into segments due to its vitality in the competitive environment. Um the focus is being shifted among different segments like frontline managers, employees, and their problem handlers and solution process. And all these are contributing immensely in today world organizations, and they are taking these steps very seriously because it is very important for the success of for any organizations. It continue the whole process in a very smooth and fluent way. So the organizations are normally today world organization equip their HR manager with more facilities, power, authority, etc. Just to equip them to deal and engage their employees in a more efficient and skillful way to overcome the challenges and every manager is and also the organization has delegated every managers in the organization with respect to our department so that they deliver in the best possible way. In short, HRM were more focused on employee commitment with respect of their skills from the organizations, just to get benefits and make sure the ownership and play their part in organization. But now the situation is quite changed. It shifted from traditional practices to the up-to-date practices due to the prevailing competitive environment. Now the organization gives equal importance to every person of the organization, whether if they are frontline managers, employees, or anyone in the organization, and also focuses on their issues like problem solving to address them, to make the employee as a unified force, just for the benefit of the organizations in achieving the target goals. Next slide. There are some examples of specific human resources management functions. In these, some are hiring, personal management, claims handlings, which I will discuss in next slides. So kindly more to the next slides, please. The first one is hiring. In hiring, there is agent Agent is a person who acts on behalf of another person or group or person or thing that takes an active role or produces a specified effect. Employee orientation, it is the process of introducing new hires to their jobs, co-workers, responsibilities, and workplace. Labor mediations embraces a variety of processes for resolving dispute between employers and trade unions in the organized sectors of the labor market. Next slide, please. Personal management. Uh, 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 there are three main functions like benefits and compensation management. Compensation manager plan, direct, and coordinate like how much an organization pays its employees and how employees are paid. Benefits managers plan, direct, and coordinate retirement plan, health insurance, and other benefits that an organization offers to its employees. Counseling. Counseling, it is an effective and preventive people management strategy for organization to help employees better managing stress, personal issues, or work-related problems. Workplace safety and sanitation. The first one is like workplace. Workplace refers to the working environment at a company and encompasses all factors that impact the safety, health, and well-being of employees. This can include environmental hazards, unsafe working conditions, or process, drug and alcohol abuse, and workplace violence. Sanitation conditions relating to public health, especially the provision of clean drinking water and adequate sewage disposal. Next slide. Claim handling. In this, the training and performance monitoring. Performance monitoring, it is a process in which the supervisor ensures that the employee is progressing towards the goals and objectives established during goal setting. And training is the act of increasing the knowledge and skill of an employee for doing a particular job. The professional and development programs. These are activities designed to enhance professional acumen or advance a person's career, are popular among both employees and employers. Education about local, district, state, and central regulations. Staff morale and retentions. These are also some important points under claim handling, in which retains refers to the ability of an organization to retain its employees. Employee morale is defined as the attitude, satisfaction, and overall outlook of employees during their association with an organization or a business. This was all from my side, and now I invite my colleague, Mr. Usama Altaf, to proceed further.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Usama Altaf, and my fellow has already given an intro about projects and human resource. I will discuss projects in more details. First topic is project success. So what is project success? Project success is defined when project is successfully completed, when it meets its objectives. So what are the main objectives of project? It should be completed within the defined schedule or time, within the budget, and the deliverables of the project should be of high quality, and they should meet all the requirements of the stakeholders. As you can see, schedule, deliverable, budget, and stakeholders are the important aspects of a project. Then we have triple constraints. So what are triple constraints? Basically, projects do not have unlimited resources. They have a limited time, and for the successful completion of the project manager needs to manage these constraints in an effective manner to deliver the project successfully. He has to sacrifice on cost, time, or scope of the project one way or another for successful completion of the project. So how project success is measured? So some say 41% of the people say executive support, team communication 26%, agile techniques, team's technical skills, soft skills, leadership, or certified project managers. So I will discuss them in a bit more details. So first thing we have is executive support. What is meant by executive support? The top level management coordinates the operations and activities of an organization. They're the policy makers. They set policies and strategies for a company to meet its goal. Then we have team communication, which is another important aspect, that all the tasks being done need to be effectively communicated among the team members. They have to know the desired goals, so they can achieve the objectives and in an effective manner. What are agile techniques? Agile technique is basically dividing or breaking the project into several stages along with stakeholder collaboration. Then we have teams technical skills. Technical skills are another important factor. Team members need to meet the objective first, and the first role of the project manager should be to use effective technique trainings and to raise the individual skills of the team members. Soft skills are essential trait required in every person. When HR department is hiring, they are looking for ideal candidates that have the soft skills that suits their organization. Now, leadership of the certified project managers. The project manager is a key member that achieves the successful project. So he is the leader in achieving successful completion of projects. So he needs to take the ultimate responsibility in leading the project teams from initiation, closing, to all phases of the project, monitoring, controlling, closing, all phases. Project manager needs to be lead them, the project teams. Keys to project success. Following are the key factors that lead to successful completion of projects. That is human resource counseling, claim handling, quality control training, performance monitoring. Modern advancements in field provide more opportunities, meetings between field staff, employees, and administration, HR process. So what is human resource? The human resource department has the ultimate responsibility of training and providing effective decisions for employees regarding their health and welfare of the workers, along with their constant monitoring and salary and other HR practices. So what is counseling? Counseling may be required for some employees to get them back on the track. They can have family related issues. Employees can have other issues that distracts them from focusing on their work. So counseling is a part of HR to manage the employees. Claim handlings. Claims are the process that can happen anytime in an organization. Employees are laid off, unforeseen circumstances. So the HR department has the ultimate responsibility to deal with such experiences. Then we have quality control and training. Trainings and performance monitoring during the employment process. HR professionals develop tests to monitor skills of employees. Modern advancement in field provide more opportunities. Uh, Traditional HR was more clerical, paper-based. HR handles hiring, firing, bookkeeping, and payroll of the employees. They keep track of the employees, how they are performing, and they should have flexibility to hire internal and external HR resources. Then we have meetings between staff, employees, and administration. Regular meetings are effective in employee conflict resolution and their other issues. This also helps them to interact with each other and higher management. Then we have is HR engineering process. It means that HR has a key responsibility of hiring competent people and providing them the right incentives and opportunities to effectively perform. HR is ultimately responsible for hiring the most competent employees, so their skills and expertise fit within the organization. Now I will share with you an example of Netflix. This is basically a case study, and this is taken from an article written by the Chief Talent Officer of Netflix. So he describes over his 14-year experience what he has observed uh, in Netflix and what kind of HR practices they follow. So, a brief intro about Netflix is a subscription-based online video streaming service. It's owned by Reed Hastings Jr. Netflix has a revenue of 20 billion USD and 183 million paid users. Netflix started as a DVD by mail subscription business, then they switched to online streaming. So they changed their business model after 2010. Netflix initially wanted to go public. They launched an IPO, but after 9/11 attacks, it was an unforeseen event. Their revenue went down, so they had to lay off 30% of their employees. The business was going down, but certainly in 2002, the business started growing, and they had 30% less workforce to work with. So the case study describes the few experiences of the chief talent officer. What he faced during that time was that uh, he says that a perk better than foosball or free sushi is hire a players to work along with them. So for employees that are working in an organization, the best thing you can give them is to let them work with competent people. So talented people share the workload with other employees. And he describes one event that in 2002, when he visited his chief talent officer, visited the chief engineer, sorry. So he said that you are working with a shortage of workforce. Do you need to hire more people to manage the departmental operations? The chief engineer said that um, I have found out that I was spending more time uh, telling other people what to do and lifting them up by improving their performances. I could have saved all that time, and those smaller tasks I can do them myself. So I'm actually helping myself instead of wasting my energy on telling what other people should do and how they should achieve those tasks. Actually, I am doing them myself, so I don't need them. So they realize that talented people perform tasks quickly in teams. Secondly, they found out that there comes a time that certain skills are no longer required in organizations. So how to deal with that? So the chief talent officer describes an event. This lady called Laura was the bookkeeper in Netflix. So eventually they did not needed her services anymore. So to lay off her gently, the chief talent officer says that I interviewed her that what she's going to do. So they offered her a service package. So after she would leave the company, uh, she would have some money to get her career back on the track. So she was actually happy that company had given her an opportunity to work there, and her skills were no longer needed. They still compensated her for that. Then they follow is higher reward and tolerate only fully adult. What do they mean by adults is that people who discuss their issues with colleagues and subordinates. Netflix focuses on hiring people who put company interests first, and for high performance uh, achievers will 97% of the people who are high performers will performers will do the right thing what is for the company, and 3% will create problems. So high performance employees basically use logic and common sense. Then they other thing that they discuss is act in Netflix best interest. So what does this mean? That is that Netflix has given more flexibility to their employees. instead of hiring other companies for booking trips and dinners and luxury perks, sort of like that, they allow their employees to book their vacations, business trips for themselves, and it is actually saving them money. But they do keep track of the IT equipment and other equipment their company is purchasing. So they have developed certain expectations from employees. In this way, most employees comply to the company needs and the requirements. Then we have is tell truth about the performance. Netflix does not use a formal rating system for their employees because they found out that it was too ritualistic, and managers just follow them as a legal requirement. It was not working for them. So instead, they hold regular meetings and they have conversation about how their teams are performing and what employees they do not longer need, and they honestly tell the employees they are about to lay off what are their shortcomings, but they do offer them good retirement or severance packages, so that they do not file lawsuits or go against the company interests. Then they have managers on the job of creating great teams. Chief Talent Officer of the Netflix quotes that during the Iraq War, if a general's quote became very famous, that you have to work with the army you have, not with the army you wish to have at a later time. So basically, this means that you have to work with the employees you currently have, not with what you wish to have in future. So the chief talent officer describes that Netflix slide works in opposite to this quote. They tell their managers to imagine what performance parameters they expect from their employees, and what kind of a perfect team they would like to have in their departments. So they tell them what and how you want to see your teams to achieve their goals within 6 months. So and they are more focused on hiring right people for the right jobs, because great teams achieve great work. Then leaders own the job of creating the company culture. Leaders in the company need to be aware about the subcultures. The chief talent officer describes that once the finance department in Netflix decided that they would give direct paychecks to the hourly paid workers, but they did not knew that most of the hourly paid workers did not even have bank accounts. So they weren't aware of the employee situations and their backgrounds, where they do come from. So the other thing they focus on is that casualness can affect the work efficiency of the employees. Should know what company is require what company performance is required from them. Then we have good talent managers think like business people and innovators first, and like HR people at last. So instead of traditional HR practices, Netflix is not focusing on best place to work. They are instead focusing on letting employees know what is good for the company, what will help them understand what performance is expected from them. So one simple test they do is they would go to a random employee and ask him, what should you be doing right now to increase your work bonus? So they think that if he is not able to answer that question, HR department is not doing his job right. So Netflix have adopted several HR policies, and they have tried to innovate the HR process as much as possible. Now my friend Abdul Ahad will come and present his topics. Thank you very much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Gentlemen, our group was assigned to brief about the role of human resource in the project management. I'll brief my part of the presentation, that is critical roles in the project management. There are 5 critical roles in the project management. If we talk about the first one is sponsor, who champions the project at the highest level in the company and get rid of the organizational obstructions. Usually has the financial responsibility. He is the one who owns the project and he involves in it from the very beginning. The sponsor is to communicate effectively with the CEO and key holders, provide necessary resources and approve or rejects the outcome. He do not manage day-to-day operations of the project, but ensures the resources that they are in place, promote the project and hold the overall responsibility of the project success. If we talk about the PMBOK, PMBOK gives the definition of the sponsor, that is a person or a group who provides resources and support the project, program or portfolio for enabling the success. अगर हम इसकी example की बात करें तो in government project, he's going to have the state official as the project sponsor who will work with the construction company's project manager. However, अगर हम IT के project की बात करें so he'll be a project sponsor, might be the chief information officer. Talk about the second critical role that is played in the project management, that is the project manager, who identifies the central problem to solve and determines with input from the sponsor and stakeholders how to tackle it. क्या उसमें objectives होंगे उसके, क्या scope होगा और क्या activities होंगी to be delivered at desired result. He then plans and schedule tasks, oversees day-to-day operations, execution, monitoring progress until he evaluates the performance और उसको closure के करीब लेके आता है और captures the lesson learned. Project manager need variety of skills to plan, procure and execute the project, making sure that everything is on the track. अगर हम इसकी कोई एग्जांपल देखें तो an architecture company, he will use the project manager to handle the development of a new building, while अगर हम दूसरे रेफरेंस से बात करें इसके as a shampoo company में, he may be needed one to launch their new product. If we talk about the third critical role that is played in the project management is by the team leader. Large project में we include the team leader, but in the small projects, the dual role is played by the project manager, that is his personal role as well as the team leader role. The team leader cannot act like the boss and still obtain the benefits of team-based work. He must adopt the following important roles. ये 5 roles हैं जो कि वो adopt कर सकता है. As an initiator, he then tells people what to do. The leader draws attention to action that must be taken for the team goals to be met. अगर वो मॉडल के रोल पे काम करता है तो he uses his own behavior to shape others' performance by steering meeting on time. अगर वो negotiator के shoes में आके काम करता है तो he gets what he need from the resource provider by framing the project as mutually beneficial. उसे बड़ा अच्छा negotiator होता है. He knows कि how to take the resources from the provider. अगर वो listener के role पे काम करता है तो he gathers from the environmental signals of impending trouble, employee discount and opportunities for gain. Once he work on the role of working member, so in addition to providing directions, the leader must do a share of work, particularly in areas where he has special competence. As a team leader, he is the one who provides guidance, instructions, directions, and leadership to a group of individuals as a team for the purpose of achieving a key result or a group of aligned result. अगर हमारा fourth member है team members जो कि 4 critical role इसमें play करता है project management में, they are the heart of any of the project and a true engine. आपको जैसे पता है कि team members ही basically sole चीज होती है जिससे पूरी एक team बनती है, तो we call it a heart of any member and true engine of the work. That why bringing together the right people is extremely important so that the project can be successfully completed. Team members, a person belonging to a specific group of people involved in attempting achieve a common goal. If we take an example of a team member, could be one of the several institutional investors trading the assets markets together, or a business person working closely with others within their company. If you talk about the last, that is the fifth critical role in the project management, that is project steering committee. Some projects have a project steering committee जो consist करती है sponsor and all the key stakeholders. The committee role is to approve the charter जो कि हमारे किसी भी project का बनता है, secure resources जो कि projects के लिए चाहिए होते हैं, and adjudicate all requests to change the key project elements such as deliverables, the schedule, and the budget. Project steering committee provide advice about changes to the project as it develops. The steering committee provides support, guidance, and oversight of the progress. Members do not usually work on the project themselves. While its primary purpose is to direct the project or organization, steering committee जो है वो fulfill करती है बहुत से numerous important roles. अगर हम इसकी example लेते हैं, for example, giving input on issues concerning the development of the project or business, it provides the insight of the concern related to the budget, marketing, hiring, etc. Some of the other key roles of the players that plays important role in the projects, that is project management office and the resource management manager. First of all, I'll explain you the project management office. इसको हम PMO भी कहते हैं. That is the group of people who help build and maintain a set of standards and best practices for internal project manager and oversees their adherence across all the projects. If we talk about the PMBOK, which gives the definition of PMO, is an organizational structure that standardizes the project related governance processes and facilitate the sharing of resources. In the last, I'll explain you the resource manager, जो कि बहुत से organization में role एक play करता है dedicated, जिसकी primary responsibility होती है is to manage the resources pool assignable to the projects. The resource manager works for a hand in glove with the project manager. बहुत ही closely coordination project manager के साथ वो काम करता है to resource capabilities and workload, and is responsible for assigning the right people to the right projects at the right time. Further, Yasir will explain his part of the presentation now.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Yasir, and today my topic is criteria for membership. Although the skill needed to accomplish the work should govern the team selection, they keep in mind that you are unlikely to get all the know-how you needed without providing some training. Consider the following areas: proficiency, the technical skill, interpersonal skill, organizational skill. Technical skill in a specific discipline such as a market research, the finance, or the software programming problem solving, the skill enabling individual to analyze the difficult situation or impress and to craft solution. Interpersonal skill, practically the ability to collaborate effectively with the others and critical aspect of the team-based work. Organization skill, including the networking communication will with the other part of the company and navigating the political landscape, all of which help the team get things done and avoid the conflict without operating the units and their personnel. Moving to the next slide, contribution and benefits. Free riders, team members who obtain the benefits of the membership without doing their share, cannot be tolerated. However, not every member has to put in the same amount of time. For example, a senior manager who must direct much of his attention to other duties may still add the value to the project by securing resources or the building the support within the organization. And just each member must contribute to the teamwork. Each should receive the clear benefits and learning experience that will pay career dividends for the instant or the further payback or the bonus. Otherwise, the individual will not participate at the high level, at least not for the long. The benefits they derive from their regular jobs. will absorb their attention and make your project as a secondary priority. Moving to next slide, alignment, the goal of the project team and those of its individual member must align with the organization objectives. For that reason, everyone effort should be coordinated through the company reward system. This kind of the reinforcement being against at the top with the sponsor since she accountable for the team's success. Some part of the compensation should be like to the team's performance. Moving down the lines, the project manager and the team members should likewise see their compensation affected by the team outcome. Such alignment gets everyone moving in the same direction. Moving to the next slide. Example, everyone knows about the story of the Nokia. Nokia is a best smartphone sometime. A role of the human resources. Stephen Locke was the CEO of the Nokia from the 2010 to 2014. He was the ex-Microsoft employee. One of the on his first day as a Nokia CEO, Locke emailed every Nokia employee asking what the changes they like to see at Nokia, and approached employees with the personal stories of at Microsoft. We built Google. We can beat Apple just as well, referring to my MS Office versus Google App. Instead of the collaboration, he chose to compete in the market with the Symbian smartphone versus the Google Android and Apple iOS. Moving to the next slide. Burning platform memo. A memo was leaked in which he mentioned how Nokia was failing in market. He mentioned the situation of the Nokia in the smartphone market to a person standing on the burning oil platform. He made the new strategy in 2011 to collaborate with the Microsoft and launched Windows Phone to compete with the Android and iOS. The move was seen as a risky all the eggs in one basket strategy. Going to the next slide. In an interview held late 2012, Locke stated the reason of the switching to Windows instead of Android. The single most important word is differentiating and turning the Android environment late. We knew we would have a hard time differentiating. In May 2013, Locke was praised by the Nokia shareholder about the lack of the result compared to the competitors and the insufficient sales figure to secure the company's survival. Shareholder wise that they were running out of the patience with the Locke effort is putting Nokia back to the smartphone race. Locke replied that there was no turning back on his decision of adopting the Windows Phone. While some analysts criticized the Locke for closing the doors to alternate strategies and going all in with Microsoft operating system, some analysts speculated that the Nokia had already lost the smartphone race to Samsung and Apple. Going to next slide. End of the Nokia. During the Locke tenure, Nokia stock price dropped to 62%. Their mobile phone market share was half. Their smartphone market share fell from 32% to 3%. The economy suffered a cumulative 4.9 billion loss. Moving to next slide, conclusion. In conclusion, an effective HRM system allows the organization to address the human resource issues strategically. It helps the workforce deliver the high quality services despite internal and external challenges to the organization. Human resource management play an important role for organization to manage the employee to work the effective, creative, quality, and productivity to reach the competitive advantages over the competitor and achieve the organization goal and objectives. All aspects of the human resource management, including the how the organization manages the organization manage the human resource environment, acquiring and preparing the assessment and development, the compensation of the human resources, new role of the human resources management and its competencies can help the organization meeting the competitive challenges and the creative values. And thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.